Hello, everybody, and welcome to Jojo Runs for Congress, Episode 1, for the third time. We messed up a couple times already. We're going to try it again.
Third time's a charm.
Third time's, that's what they say.
Before we get started, I want to introduce our guest host.
And who is that?
Our guest host today is Kirby.
Kirby, oh my gosh. Hello, Kirby.
Kirby is here specifically so the camera will pick up warmer tones and not make me look gray.
Science.
I don't know if that's actually true or not, but I digress. Continue.
Anyway, so today we will be talking to our energetic candidate, and we will learn a little bit about her. We will learn why she's running for Congress in Pennsylvania's 2nd District. We will learn, yes, there's the map. We will learn a little bit behind her campaign, her philosophies, and we'll also discuss what the goal of this podcast is. It's a little unorthodox. So let's just jump right into it. Hello, Joanne. How are you today?
I'm actually good. I'm great.
Yeah?
There's been a lot of crying over the past couple weeks.
Sure.
But today's been a great day.
Okay. So let's just start off. Tell us about yourself. Tell us what makes Joanne Joanne.
What makes Joanne Joanne? A lot of things. Well, my favorite way to answer this question is I'm a child of Filipino immigrants. Mm-hmm. So if you're Filipino, you understand. Mm-hmm. But really what that means is my experience growing up as a first-generation immigrant in the United States shapes a lot of my views and who I am. Mm-hmm. So I was born in New Jersey. My parents actually came here in the 1980s to work and pursue their American dream. Mm-hmm. I was born in Jersey City. We lived in the predominantly Filipino community there. Mm-hmm. My older sister is a little bit cooler than me because she was born in Queens. She's actually a New Yorker.
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm a fake New Yorker. Now a Philly transplant. And we eventually moved out to the suburbs of northern New Jersey just because of space issues. Mm-hmm. And then I went to college to pursue nursing. I graduated from the University of Pennsylvania in 2014 with my BSN.
Oh, is that Penn State Philly?
Yes, Penn State Philly. And graduated with $80,000 of undergraduate student loan debt, which is neither here nor there. But I'm sure it's going to get out there eventually. But let's just say, everyone, right now, I'm 27. Mm-hmm. I'm young.
Pretty young.
And people will do the math and calculate that. So back to my life and who I am, why I am the way I am. I started out working in nursing in northern New Jersey as an orthopedic surgery trauma nurse. Mm-hmm. So trauma ortho will always be in my blood and my bones. And then I moved back to Philadelphia to go to school, pursue my master's degree, and work full time. Mm-hmm. I don't recommend doing that. But ladies, if that's your situation, you're going to be okay. Eventually, I promise. And I graduated this year.
Yeah.
I graduated with my master's in health leadership. So I intentionally did a broad program because I could take classes in a lot of really great programs across Penn because it was a stepping stone to my PhD. But the problem with a PhD is you have to know what topic you're going to study, and you need to be married to that topic for 4, 5, 6, however many years it takes to finish it. Yeah. And I could not decide what topic I wanted to study because I realized every single topic I picked was absolutely useless. Okay, not useless, but it would not be as effective because of our current healthcare system and the way that we view healthcare in terms of writing policy. So that's kind of what makes me who I am. My whole life has been driven by a desire to help others. And I love seeing people not just be alive, but thrive. Okay. I'm a big proponent of helping others because I'm an extremely empathetic person. Yeah. And I think my end game has always been to be a public servant in some way. Yeah. I realize that I'm extremely privileged and blessed. Yeah. But that's because my parents worked so fucking hard to give me everything that I have. Gasp. Am I allowed to curse? Don't listen, Kirby.
Kirby, hide your ears, you innocent creature.
My parents worked so hard to give me that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I don't like seeing, that will go into reason why I'm running for Congress. But that's really what shapes who I am.
Well, good foreshadowing on my next question, Joanne.
It's like we've done this before.
Third time, as we said. What can you pinpoint for us the moment you decided you were going to run for Congress? Because it's something we had talked about for a while, and you were a little resistant to it. But then one day you kind of just came to me and you're like, I need to do this. What was really the tipping point?
The tipping point? I'm going to tell a more condensed version of the story.
Probably a good idea.
2 things happened because we live in Kensington. One night I woke up and there was somebody screaming in the empty lot next to us. And for some reason, it just rattled me to my core. Whether that person was high on a terrible trip or fell or hurt themselves. But it really bothered me. And the second thing was when I got off the L one morning, coming home from night shift, it's like 7:45 on a Sunday. And normally, because the L is, the trains are closed late at night, people will, during the summer, sleep up there.
Yeah.
So I get off, and there's this mom and her young daughter in front of me. Nothing unusual. A couple people lying on the stairs in various states of alertness. All of them were breathing at a respiratory rate of at least 10, so they were fine. But they did have some...
Nurse tags.
Yes, nurse tags. And some needles and things around them, on them, bags, mysterious things, drug paraphernalia. And the mom goes to her daughter and says, the daughter must have been, I'm bad with ages, but maybe we're from like 3 to 5, but little. She's like, honey, these people here, they're very sick. You know, they're not bad people, but they're very sick. And if you ever see those orange caps or those white little things, those white things that look like a pencil, you do not touch them. You walk right past them. There's no need to judge these people, but you just leave them alone.
Yeah.
And I lost it. You weren't home that day. For some reason, you weren't home that weekend, but I came home and I cried.
Yeah.
Because I thought this is unacceptable. Like, nobody should ever have to teach their child how to step over drug paraphernalia on a public subway. And that was a tipping point for me in terms of deciding that I was not okay with the things that I was seeing.
Yeah.
Because these people are real humans. And I just started asking myself the question, why is nobody doing anything about this? Or if they are, why has nothing been effective yet? Where is the flashlight? Like, why are we not pulling back the curtains and saying this is not okay for people to have to suffer like this? Both people seeing it, and people being traumatized by it, and the people that are actually experiencing addiction, etc. Okay. But the one night, this was October, it was a Wednesday, it was the first week of October, I had taken a week off and I decided to do yoga because people say that it frees your mind. And while I was doing yoga, I was listening to a podcast, and in the podcast, I will figure out which one it is. The guy basically said that he was talking about our broken election system. And he said that our problems will only get magnified because people selectively choose to segregate into their respective social groups. For example, we grew up in kind of the same social class. We went to the same schools. We hang out with the same people. We married each other. Yeah. And even if you wanted to change the way the people that are elected in Congress, it almost feels like it's going to be a Game of Thrones-like wheel where whichever group of people is on top and loudest and proudest is going to be in power. And then that wheel will just continue to turn. And I was so upset by that because that's not what I thought politics was. That's not what I think Congress is supposed to be. So you were in there doing something. I marched in and I was like, what are we going to do about this? How do we fix this? And then that resulted in us being here in the kitchen, and we were sitting at this very table, even though it was in the middle of the room. And I said, dude, I think the only way for me to fix this is I have to run for Congress. And that's why I decided to run. Was that a much more concise answer? I think I answered that in only 3.5 minutes.
Don't look at the timer.
Really don't. Okay.
That's my job.
Continue.
Yeah, no, that's as good a reason as any. But why you? Why do you think this district would vote for someone who has no political experience at any level, let alone the federal level? So why you?
First, number one reason, I'm a nurse. And by nature of what I do for a living, when you make decisions in Congress, you need to think about how your decision, your policy, what you're saying and supporting is going to affect everybody else. And in healthcare, especially the day-to-day being a bedside nurse, every decision you make, you have to do the exact same thing. Yeah. And you have to understand the implications of the decisions you're making. Okay. Which means that I don't take this job lightly. And it's an incredibly serious role and responsibility. Second is this is a map of, you can't really see it on the podcast, but this is a map of District 2. So it's all the way Northern Liberties, which is a 100% gentrified neighborhood of like young, single and ready to mingle. No, like young families that make a good income that are are thriving. And then you go take a little drive and you hit Kensington. And then you hit the predominantly Puerto Rican immigrant area where you have a 56% poverty rate with deep generational poverty. And you continue driving up and then, you know, you see snippets of like predominantly blue collar working class families all the way up to the very top, which is I don't know that area as well, but it's a seemingly more stable community. It looks to me like a suburb, even though the city, the address is technically Philadelphia. Yeah. And the reason why me is because I have a skill that other people tell me, not just me. So I hope that this is valid, of being able to translate between different groups of people. And I think that's something that's really missing, especially in Congress. Because a lot of the experiences that people are having in this district are exactly my lived experience. Yeah. Maybe not to the same extent in terms of generational poverty, but a working family, an immigrant family. And now I'm a student with, I'm an ex-student, a graduate student with student loans, trying to find a job, hold down a job, pay for my health care, find a place to live, afford a place to live, save up for a down payment. All of the issues that are going to be decided on in the future, it's my life. Yeah. And as a result of that, my life is literally on the line. And that is just a testament to how much I care about these issues. Okay.
So basically, you think that
espresso is really kicking in right now. So
you think that you can speak to the true issues of this district.
Yes.
That you are someone who faces a lot of the same issues, perhaps not as extreme as a lot of the people, the voters in this district, but you think you can speak honestly to their lived experiences.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the fact is, working families in America, whether you make the federal poverty level, which is like 22 per thousand, the medium wage, which is per family, which is I think around 55 to 60,000, even up to $200,000. These families are struggling. Yeah, and they're struggling because they're one disaster, one medical, one natural disaster, one housing disaster away from bankruptcy. Yeah, yeah. So if we define stability in terms of being able to live your standard of living and have some money left over to carry you through emergencies and, you know, make choices like deciding to have all your kids right in a row. Yeah. If that's our definition of success, then we are failing miserably.
Sure. Okay. Next, let's do a little...
Can we lighten the mood a little bit? Because I got very dark very fast.
Something a little fun now. Okay. And this is something I think I just had this idea. We should try to do this every episode. Okay. You're going to give me your elevator pitch.
My elevator pitch? Mm-hmm. I haven't practiced it today.
Well, you got to make it up on the spot.
Oh, shit. Okay. I mean, shoot. Let's...
You can curse.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to watch the clock. You have 1 minute.
1 minute. Give me 30 seconds.
Okay. 30 seconds to tell us the central core message of your campaign. Ready? And go. I'm watching the clock.
Working families are struggling in this economy and this society, and we need to invest in programmings that promote working families, that support working families, specifically working women in the workforce, which means childcare and education. Because when you have families that can go out there and be healthy and work, guess what? They can contribute to the economy and pay down that federal deficit that some other people are so worried about, which is a problem in and of itself.
Okay, you have 5 seconds to spare. Very good, very fast talking.
You said I only had 30 seconds, so I had to...
That was great. That was great.
Well, no, here's my strategy. If the person goes, I'm sorry, can you say that again? Boom! I've won myself an extra 30 minutes. If not, they walk away and I'm like, true. Sorry.
If anything you said was of interest to them, they'll ask you to say it again, but slowly.
Yes, but if they're looking at me just like, no, this girl is crazy, and they walk away, then I cut my losses.
Awesome. That was good. But yeah, so yeah, you believe that you want to fight for working class families. You want to fight for those people who are struggling in our current economy, in our current political system, who might be feeling a little pressure on their way of life.
Not just fight. I don't like to use... I'm not a confrontational person, but advocate for it.
Sure.
shine a light on the issues.
Yeah.
And honestly, my hidden agenda is to inspire other people from normal American life, whatever that is, I guess. It's subjective, to run.
Yeah.
But also inspire everybody that who you elect, the person that they are, what they do, their business practices, whatever, matters, because they should reflect your community. They should reflect you as a person. Yeah. Because they are most likely to represent you in the way that you'd want them to represent you in Congress.
Little redundant, but sure.
That's like the time when I said salt brings out the flavor.
By bringing out the flavor. We'll get into that another time. Okay. I want to wrap this up by getting to our other topic that has really nothing to do with what we've talked about yet today. Okay. But I think the people who view and listen to this need an explanation on why we're doing this whole thing. Yeah. So, why are we doing this podcast? To pull back the veil, the curtain behind politics. Because politics is very dirty, and I don't want to run this campaign under this mystique. So we are literally putting everything on the table. Mm-hmm. And nothing is off limits. You scared me. I thought you were going to say there's a book behind. Nothing is off limits.
Nothing is off limits, because I grew up in the age of social media. I've been on Facebook since like 2006, before I was technically allowed to, probably. Mm-hmm. And I want to be as open and as vulnerable as possible, because number one, this whole process of running for Congress is so mysterious. And if people understood what it takes, they would probably pay more attention to how you actually run.
It was not fun to get even signed up.
It was difficult, but thank you, FEC, for being really nice when we called you. Yes. And number two, oh my God, I forgot point number two. Number two, I want people to get the chance to know me. Yeah. Because even if you don't agree with my beliefs, I want people to hear what I say and to believe and understand and know that I am trying to make the best decisions that I possibly can to help everybody. Yeah. And that I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to be perfect. I can't know everything. I won't know everything. I will say wrong things, and I will probably make some bad decisions. But it's coming from a place of wanting to do the right thing and wanting to make change for good. Yeah. I'm hoping that this podcast is a way to say that just because my resume does not have any elected job experience on it does not mean that I am 100% willing to take the risks that are required to do this job. And this is a job that I have not been hired for yet.
Win or lose, hopefully we can inspire some people to maybe pick up the mantle, get a little more invested. You don't have to run, but I hope that we make it a little more fun for people to be educated on this, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's so boring learning about politics.
Hold on, I'm going to interrupt you, honey.
Quickly.
Oh, he's my husband, if you're wondering. But remember, there was a time when we talked about the fact that we were tired of listening to all of the vitriolic, nasty banter. Yeah. Of people be like, Republicans versus Democrats, and always needing to hate each other. Mm-hmm. And we wanted a space where we can have conflicting conversations and just it not be so heavy. Yeah. It's serious. It's 100% serious. Yeah. But just giving people the opportunity to be engaged without feeling like the weight, because literally since 2016, I felt like the weight of the world was on my hands every time I turned on a podcast.
On your hands?
On my hands. On my shoulders. On my shoulders, not my hands. And really the whole agenda behind this is even winning doesn't even matter for me. No, if I can get people, it does. But if I can get people to talk about the issues that I care about,
that's just as important. Yeah.
I've done my job.
Yeah. And also, I think we want to shine a light on what it takes to run, because no one knows.
Yes, literally.
Because it's ridiculous that people like you and I felt like we had no capability to do this. People are like, oh, I can't do anything. I don't know anything. I don't know anybody in the industry. Whatever. But yes,
we're gonna dispel that myth. We started from the ground
up. Wrapping up now. Thank you for joining us on Jojo Runs for Congress. This is going to be a daily podcast, uploaded Mondays through Fridays on both YouTube and whatever your podcast player of choice will be. If you want to get invested into the campaign, if you want to volunteer or raise money or donate rather, or learn more about what Joanne stands for, you can visit her website at
Mantilla2020.com.
Or if you want to get really involved with Joanne and really follow on the campaign on a day-to-day basis, you can follow her on social media, which is...
I have a Twitter, but I'm not as active on Twitter, though I should be.
It will be more active.
It's at Mantilla Joanne. Mm-hmm. And my Instagram handle, I'm sorry, Dad, I've officially kidnapped your name, because his name is also Jojo, is at Jojo Mantilla.
Yes, and the YouTube videos will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, which will be linked on the website. I think that's about it, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining in, and we'll talk to you soon.
What a campaign!